There are a ton of massive Star Wars updates on the way. I want to break down what these updates are, when they are coming, and then speculate about what I think will be announced during these updates. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Do me a favor and smash that like button with your force powers, and let's get right into this news. There are indeed a lot of cool things going on behind the scenes when it comes to Star Wars. We've sort of been talking about that here on the channel for the past couple of weeks, but we are actually getting some real updates officially from Lucasfilm coming out in the next several weeks, and I want to talk about those. So first up, tomorrow, which will be February 24th. Maybe that is today if you're watching this video today. Maybe it's in the past if you're watching this video later on, but either way, on February 24th at around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will start getting updates about Project Luminous. Oh, and actually, it looks like that will be 7 p.m. Pacific Time, so that'll be like 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, let's speculate just a little bit about what this announcement could be. I think that we are probably going to hear official word on a lot of the things we've already been talking about with regards to Project Luminous. A lot of people have been talking about this. Jason Ward over MakingStarWars.net. There was that Zero.uk article. We've been following this for several weeks now, and we know that Project Luminous is a multimedia story that's going to be told in, different kinds of stories that all tie together. We also know that this time period that they're going to be playing around in Project Luminous is going to have something to do with the High Republic era and the future of the Star Wars movies. Now, I don't really expect them to be talking much about the movies or video games or anything like that. The Project Luminous people are probably going to specifically talk about that connective story they're working on with the comic books and the novels. So this might be another one of those cases of, unfortunately, the official Star Wars announcements are a little bit behind the rumor mill and like sort of the dirty YouTube and scooper game. I mean, that happens all the time, right? It just is what it is. We'll get official confirmation. We'll be able to be like, okay, now we know for sure that this is real and we can move on from there. However, it's also possible we get some more details about certain characters, story arcs, settings, things like that for Project Luminous. I would absolutely love it if we got a look at some of the art, maybe some designs of some of these new characters, when we can start to expect these books to be coming out, and stuff like that. So I'm hopeful we get something that's a little bit juicier than just, oh hey, all those rumors online, they are indeed correct, here's what it is. So again, this news could range anywhere from, oh yeah, we told you so, everything we knew was correct, to, oh wow, we're getting a look at some of these characters, settings and whatnot, and oh, look at this really cool art, this can give us something to speculate about. So either way, we're going to be following the news tomorrow evening. You're going to want to check back to the channel, probably do like a little thing later at night and talk about it on the live channel on Tuesday morning. There's also going to be a big Disney event March 5th. That's coming up very soon as well. And there's a Disney Plus reveal of exclusive content that is happening in Europe. Now, this was scooped several days ago by Star Wars Newsnet, but there is indeed going to be an event in London on March 5th where certain executives will be making presentations discussing Marvel and Star Wars along with other Disney properties. Now, we'll of course be getting a lot of cool stuff, probably some juicy footage of the Marvel Disney Plus shows. We will certainly be checking that out. But as far as Star Wars fans are concerned, there will likely be some Mandalorian Season 2 stuff shown, and also a very wild possibility that they actually solidify the Rebel sequel rumors and talk about the animated series that will be supposedly dropping later this year. And that would be really juicy. But overall, I don't really expect to get much about Kenobi there. I think they are still working things for Kenobi behind the scenes, and because it's likely to still be on Disney Plus, although it could be reworked to be in theaters as a film, I don't know. They'll probably just talk about how they're continuing to work on those scripts and that project is moving forward despite its delay. And as far as for The Mandalorian Season 2, I don't know how much they'll actually go into. We've heard some rumors that people like Robert Rodriguez and James Mangold will direct episodes of Season 2. We've also seen some teasing from Giancarlo Esposito about the Darksaber and how much he'll be using the Darksaber in Season 2, and that sounds really wild, but I don't know how much of that will actually be presented by the executives. My thing is, I feel as though this is sort of for investors to get people hyped about Disney Plus, get people to sign up or something like that, so it's probably going to focus on potential new things that are coming. I'd love some kind of wild, out of left field announcement about a film or a series that's being developed on Disney Plus that has to do with the High Republic. That would be a long shot, and we're clearly in speculative territory here, but my rationale here is thinking that they will actually make this Luminous announcement tomorrow on February 24th. Therefore, it'll be out there in the public. People will be talking about it. What better way to follow that up than explain that you have some Disney Plus stuff coming down the pipeline that will tie into the High Republic stuff? That would be really juicy, and also confirm a lot of the things we've been talking about with regards to Star Wars over the past couple of weeks. Now, there's also a few updates that Jason Ward over at MakingStarWars.net has given us just about generally what's happening with Star Wars. I've actually talked to Jason about some of this stuff, but I'll go point by point on the main things he talked about in his podcast, episode 290. Number one, he said that sources told him that Lucasfilm was debating to turn Kenobi back into a film when they delayed production. We've actually covered that in a couple of different videos. Again, that was that exclusive that Jason literally let us run with here on the channel, talking about how it was being reworked to be into a film when it got delayed. At this point, though, nobody knows for sure if it's greenlit in any fashion, like if they're actually going to turn it into a movie or if they're going to continue to work on these scripts and make it into a show. But we've actually talked about that before. Jason says that because the Cassian series is being pushed so much, he doesn't know if any of the information that is out there is up to date. He says he doesn't know if anything is greenlit with the High Republic era films. He also spoke about seeing concept art of the High Republic, which was marked Jedi Holy War, which is more than likely a code name. And let's stop there for a second. So obviously, we've been talking a lot about how the High Republic era is going to be this MCU thing. We've been talking about how that's going to be really cool. Nothing in there is officially greenlit, or at least nobody knows if anything in there is greenlit, okay? And I'm going to get into the rumors about Lucasfilm in a little bit here, because I know everybody's like, oh, Kathy Kennedy got kicked off the set of Mandalorian. Everything's waiting for Kathy to get out of the way. That's definitely not true, but let me explain why in a second here. Now, something being called the Jedi Holy War, even if it's just a code name, incredible. When we did our breakdown a couple of weeks ago now about the Star Wars MCU, one of the things we talked about was this parallel to the Crusades and the Middle Ages. It would be fascinating if we actually had Jedi Crusaders going out to the then unknown reaches of space, purging things and literally helping the Republic extend its reach into the known galaxy. That would be really cool. Now, last point here, Lucasfilm thought they had their director, who is a big name, which was why there were reports we'd hear who that was in January. Doesn't know who the director is or if it's fallen through. Now, let me stop here for just a second. This was something we had been sort of talking about. In other videos, I was being sort of cryptic. There's a big thing that they were waiting for. A lot of people were like, oh, the big thing they're waiting for is Kathy Kennedy to be removed, and that's not true. Okay, and as far as I can tell, and the sources that I have told me, there's no truth to this whole Kathy Kennedy getting the boot sort of thing. She might still step down at the end of next year, but she's planning a lot right now, and they're working really hard at Lucasfilm to set stuff up. And I think whether or not she steps down then or steps down later, I just think that we probably need to just let go of this idea that she's going to get the boot, that there's this conspiracy or this civil war going on over at Disney with Kathy Kennedy. I will say that obviously Bob Iger is not super duper pleased with Kennedy's performance, with the performance of the Skywalker saga, particularly Rise of Skywalker and, you know, after Last Jedi. There's been brand damage, no doubt about it. Who knows if she'll have like a permanent place over at Lucasfilm, but right now there is some fighting between Disney and Star Wars, but it's just normal corporate-y like divisions of film stuff. Obviously, they really think Star Wars is valuable. They want Star Wars to get back on track. That's what Kathy wants. That's what everybody wants over there. And are there some things going on that are not happening in the best way? 100%. I know about some things going on that are like, whoa, there's some trouble brewing. But I don't think Kathy's going to get the boot. That's not the thing I was referring to. What I was referring to is what Jason is talking about here. They had a director. They had a huge name. Now, I'm not at liberty to even say who these people are. I kind of talked about this with Jason, right? I talked to him about it. I was like, man, like, kind of want to talk about who possibly could have been in charge of the new Star Wars movies. But let's just say it's a really big name and a big creative name. And also, just in general, think about the fact that Lucasfilm would want a huge name, a draw to whatever they're doing next with these series of movies, okay? And so in order to replace Dan and Dave, they're looking for a name that's equally big as far as getting buzz and getting attention and headlines and things like that to replace Dan and Dave for this series of movies. And they're waiting on that. When they get that, which hopefully they're close to that, we will get another big announcement. And so we're getting the announcement of Project Luminous February 24th. We're getting that announcement about Disney Plus stuff on March 5th. And it's even possible we get an announcement in the next couple of weeks or months about who the big name is for the next movies in 2022, 2024, and 2026. Because honestly, guys, they really don't have a lot of time to waste, particularly if they don't take Kenobi and slot it into that 2022 slot, then they don't really have much time at all. They've got to get a director, and they've got to get a writer, and they've got to get some producers on that thing immediately. And so hopefully they can lock in a really big name, but all I can really say about that is some of the names they were trying to get, I just love where their head is at. You know, these would have been great gets. Maybe they can still get some of these people. Just try to think of some of the best creative names you can think of in the fantasy or sci-fi genre as far as a director and producer. And you're probably coming up with the same list that literally Disney is, the people they're going after. So hopefully they lock in one of those great big names, and then we're off to the races. Now, lastly, let me talk a little bit about these rumors, okay? I sort of talked about them already, but guys, I don't know how else to say this. A lot of this stuff is seemingly just being made up. Like, there's just no truth to it, right? And this happens in all fandoms, but it's particularly a big deal in Star Wars, I think, because there's so much friction and dissent out there among Star Wars fans, and I totally get it. People aren't super pleased with what has happened in the first wave of Disney Star Wars movies. A lot of people don't like Kathy Kennedy. I get it. But you have to understand that people are taking advantage of that attitude and of that situation out there. And they're making rumors and reports about stuff that they know will get people talking and excited. Guys, there's really no truth to the rumors that Kathy was kicked off of the set of The Mandalorian. Like, when I talked to Jason, he was like, nah, I literally just saw her on set. So there's no truth to those rumors. There's no big split over at Star Wars. I will say there's some stuff going on that isn't going on in the best way, right? There is some friction, there is some confusion, and there is some conflict, of course, over within Lucasfilm, but it's nothing that's that much crazier than any other studio out there, right? So, look, that's all I can really say about the rumors, but if there's this idea out there that, like, it's all hinged on Kathy, and Kathy's going to be out of here soon, and that's why we're waiting, and that'll be this big announcement, that's just, from what I know, completely false. Not to say that she won't step down in 2021, but she's actively working really hard and doing all the things that she could be doing as president to help set up the future of Star Wars, okay? So that's pretty much it when it comes to the updates. So lots of cool Star Wars stuff coming out around the bend as far as announcements. We will be checking all that stuff out and doing reporting here on the channel, of course. So let us know what you think about some of these updates that are happening very soon and what you think will be shared from Lucasfilm to us, the fans. Whatever your thoughts are, let us know in the comment section below. And now let's shout out Abby. Yes, indeed, the sniper clone trooper from the Bad Batch was called Crosshair. So shout out to you, Abby. And now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know, what planet did Sheev Palpatine grow up on? Kind of a softball question if you watched the prequels, but the question remains, what planet did the Emperor Palpatine grow up on? Answer that question in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.